Today, we're in the Lone Star State. And we're taking you along with us as we see America's second most visited zoo. The Houston Zoo welcomes nearly 2 million visitors annually and is home to over 6,000 animals. This zoo is on the small side, covering a mere 55 acres. But don't let its small size deceive you. You'll find more than 900 different species living in these habitats. The Houston Zoo is located adjacent to downtown in nearby Herman Park. You'll notice city buildings and even skyscrapers peeping up behind many of the attractions. Unfortunately, that also means parking can be a hassle, so do be aware of it before you come. Herman Park houses many different attractions, spanning over 455 acres, of which the zoo is only a portion. This means the zoo does not have its own dedicated parking lot. Plan to arrive early to park in one of Herman Park's public lots. Or, if you're willing to walk, you can find metered parking several blocks away. The zoo recommends using the garage at the Houston Museum of Natural Science, which is what we did. But fair warning, it's $30 to park there if you're not a museum member. Be sure to get your zoo tickets online before you go. No tickets are sold on site. You'll be asked to choose a timed entry, but don't worry, you can come in any time after your specified entry. To give you an idea of how this zoo stacks up to others, the San Diego Zoo and Safari covers 1,800 acres. Disney's Animal Kingdom sits on 580 acres, as does the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium. So if you've been keeping track, the Houston Zoo, which has less than 55 acres, receives nearly 2 million visitors annually and manages to be one of the most species diverse zoos in the country. How does it do that?
The zoo is divided into 9 sections, and we began with the Galapagos Islands.
This seems like a good opportunity to tell you guys we are here in June and it is a breezy 90 degrees today. So we are coated in sunscreen and going to try to stay in the more shaded enclosures if we can, but the sun is serious in Houston. It is scorching. Make your plans accordingly if you come to the Houston Zoo. It's toasty today.
One of the nicest things about the Galapagos Island section is that it is fully air-conditioned and indoors. Here, you'll see Galapagos tortoises, iguanas, and penguins. Or at least they're very close cousins. This is because many species native to the Galapagos Islands, such as the Galapagos tortoise, are endemic to the islands. That means they exist nowhere else on Earth. As a result, Ecuador, the governing body of the islands, prevents the removal of certain species, so they are protected. Exhibits like this one do their best to obtain representative species, so visitors can experience the environment of the islands as well as raise awareness for environmental protections. The Houston Zoo is a part of the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, an American nonprofit most notable for their Species Survival Plan and their SAFE Plan, which stands for Saving Animals from Extinction. They monitor animal populations across participating zoos and oversee things like mating and species expansion. The penguin enclosure is a space where you're going to want to sit down and take your time. And don't worry, they've got benches. These guys are superstar attractions, and they know it.
Before you leave this area, stop in and say hello to the sea lions. We've been to a lot of zoos, and this is without a doubt the most impressive sea lion habitat I've seen so far. Male sea lions can grow up to 8 feet in length and weigh as much as 1,000 pounds. Females are smaller, staying closer to 6 feet and weighing 240 pounds. These animals can dive to a depth of 900 feet and hold their breath for as long as 10 minutes. Be sure to follow the path around the corner and step into the sea lion tunnel. It's easy to lose some time in here. Sea lions are very social, intelligent, and trainable. In fact, several California sea lions are even considered members of the US Navy. They can attach recovery lines to objects on the seafloor in conditions where human divers cannot. They can detect underwater mines and provide base security. Once on the brink of being endangered in the 1950s, with less than 10,000 animals worldwide, sea lions have made a phenomenal comeback thanks to federal protections that have allowed the species to rebound to a population today of over 250,000. Houston Zoo is one of only 3 zoos in the US offering this unique opportunity to come face to face with these creatures. Next, move on to enjoy the One Ocean Aquarium portion of this exhibit. The Houston Zoo uses this exhibit as an opportunity to draw attention to the amount of plastic finding its way to the ocean every year. Plastics float on the surface of the water and are often mistaken by sea turtles for food. In an effort to reduce the amount of plastic headed to landfills, this zoo only provides paper straws in its cafes. Here, you'll see Japanese sea nettles which can extend their tentacles up to 10 feet. As well as the bonnethead species of hammerhead shark. This aquarium holds 290,000 gallons of water and is designed to mimic the Galapagos Reef. There are over 2,000 fish in these tanks, representing over 200 different species. Look out for black-tip reef sharks, which are recognizable by the, you guessed it, black tip on their dorsal fins. These sharks can grow up to 6 feet long, though they prefer shallow waters and often stick to the same reefs and lagoons for many years. You'll also notice a green sea turtle passing by. These creatures can weigh up to 350 pounds and live for 100 years. They are presently listed as endangered, and the Houston Zoo is doing its part to protect them and educate visitors on human habits that are impacting turtle habitats.
Once you leave the Galapagos Islands, it's time to visit the birds of the world. The Houston Zoo is home to over 200 bird species, making it one of the largest avian collections in any U.S. zoo. That includes more than 800 individual birds spread across multiple habitats. Look here for the Malagasy sacred ibis, distinctive for its white plumage, black bills, and black tails native to Madagascar. This rare bird prefers mudflats and coastal areas and tends to lay its eggs in mangrove trees. This bird is considered endangered with less than 3,000 individuals living globally. But good news! The Houston Zoo just successfully hatched its first Malagasy sacred ibis chick and is part of the effort to rebuild the species. You'll also note several species of vulture in this aviary, such as the Ruppel's griffon vulture and the lappet-faced vulture. In this section is the gray-crowned crane, the yellow-billed stork, and the royal spoonbill. The gray-crowned crane is notable for the spray of yellow feathers crowning its head. The royal spoonbill has a bill that looks, well, like a spoon. You'll notice it here in the foreground. The gray-crowned crane prefers wetlands, savannas, and grassy flatlands near rivers and lakes. Unlike most cranes, it can roost in trees thanks to a specialized hind toe. This species of crane is monogamous, performing elaborate courtship dances to woo its partner before mating for life. Like many species here, they are considered endangered. The yellow-billed stork has distinctive pink eye markings. Here, you'll see the Chilean flamingo, which tends to grow only 3 feet high and weigh around 8 pounds. Their lighter pink coloring is dictated by their diet of algae and small crustaceans.
As we move on, let us take the time to point out these wonderful tree canopies Houston has landscaped over the walking paths. It's 90 degrees, and it feels it, but it's a welcome relief not to have to walk everywhere in direct sunlight. Exiting the birds of the world, you'll find yourself in the world of primates. Here, we begin with the shared habitat of lemurs and the Madagascar big-headed turtle. This will lead you to the orangutan habitat. These orangutans are native to the rainforests of Borneo and Sumatra. In fact, orangutan means man of the forest in Malay and Indonesian. Orangutans are the most solitary of the great ape species due to food scarcity, since their diet relies so heavily on seasonally ripe fruit. In an environment like the Houston Zoo, they are likely to be more social and live comfortably in small groups. Further on, you'll see the siamang and white-cheeked gibbons. Siamang are among the loudest apes on Earth, inflating their throat sacs to create calls that can be heard up to 2 miles away. White-cheeked gibbons are smaller than the siamang. Their distinctive coloring helps distinguish between males, which are black, and females, which are golden. Here, you are seeing one of the very few white-cheeked gibbons that has been bred and born in captivity. This is a huge step towards preserving and growing this endangered species. As you can tell, Papa Max has had enough for this day. If I'm being honest, I'm on Max's side here. 90 degrees is too hot for cuddling. These walkways give the feeling of walking high in the tree canopy of a distant rainforest. Our final stop is the patas monkey. This animal is often referred to as the military monkey, as its markings can resemble a military uniform. The long tail you're seeing here can add an additional 2 feet to their overall length. It may surprise you to learn, after seeing them relax on these platforms, that the patas monkey is the fastest primate and can reach speeds up to 34 miles per hour. They live in female-led communities with one male for protection. As a result, males occasionally join together to form bachelor groups.
After all that, it's time to get some food at the Circle Cafe. So we're in the Circle Cafe having lunch, and this is kind of a message for other older millennial parents. We came in and like a pair of old fogies, Jeff and I went up to the counter to read the menu off of the television screens in the back before Isabella pointed out that there are menus. Can we get a look at the menu? And then, after we picked out what we wanted and made Jeff memorize it, Isabella pointed out that there's a QR code for mobile ordering.
Yeah.
Card girl, can we see the QR code? So now, from the comfort of a really hard wooden bench, we have picked out our food, we've ordered online, and we're getting text messages because we don't have to stand there like it's the early 2000s. So.
Don't punch me.
She is so barely willing to be in this vlog right now, but I just felt like she should be, since she was the words of wisdom on how to order food at the zoo.
We'd be 20 minutes behind if it wasn't for me.
We would be, it's true. So there's your food conscious tip for the zoo today. Thank you, Gen Z child.
You're welcome.
The food here was good. surprisingly good. If you have kids, you've eaten your fair share of zoo food, and I can honestly say I liked the food here. We also got these gigantic refillable cups. After one refill of soda, I just took mine to the bottle filling stations for water, and it was a total lifesaver. Next, we checked out the alligator in the Texas Wetlands exhibit. While it's nice, it just can't compare to holding one with your own hands and feeding a whole group, which we got to do recently at the Hot Springs, Arkansas Alligator Farm. We purchased the Jurassic Giants add-on with our tickets and redeemed them here.
So Houston Zoo is hosting a Jurassic Giants exhibit, and this has put me in mind of when the kids were little, and the Birmingham Zoo, which is where we're living at the time, they had their own dinosaur exhibit, and I'll insert some photos here. And yeah, they've really stepped up their game. Those were stationary dinosaurs, and these are mobile. What do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely animated a lot more.
Yeah, I love this. It is extra, but it's only $11, and you get a wristband as part of it. Completely worth it. These are so cute. We got it! Oh, you gotta check this guy out too. Right? Now we're gonna have to rewatch all the movies. I just found Sue. Next to the Tyrannosaurus. I'm gonna get a nice good look at her. You can tell this is Sue, the Sue from Field Museum fame, because look, her skull is warped. And if you have not visited Sue yet, oh, and here's her animatronic counterpart. Based, of course, on Sue's almost fully articulated skeleton. When they were preserving Sue's skull, part of it caved in and warped during the preservation process. So that's how you know that skull right there, that represents Sue from our hometown, from Chicago, from the Field Museum. Let's see if I can get this loud guy in here. There he is. Little piece of Chicago here in Houston.
After those oversized reptiles, it's time to get small. But not without a stop. First, to say hello to the red pandas. They are located, confusingly, next to the bug house. This zoo has over 30 exotic insect species on display, and their collection is constantly changing. See if you can find any camouflaged in their exhibits. This Texas native is known as the Blue Death Feigning Beetle. It does exactly what you think it does. It plays dead when it senses that predators are nearby.
These are the Houston Zoo's Maasai giraffe. Maasai giraffes are the largest-bodied giraffe species, reaching up to 19 feet tall and weighing over 4,000 pounds, and are primarily found in Kenya and Tanzania. This is the African forest section of the zoo, where many of the large predators are kept. Sadly, on the day we visited, most of the animals in this section were either in the secondary portion of their enclosures inside or simply not visible due to the heat. Despite hailing from the African continent, even Houston in the summertime can be too much for some large cats. Though we were certainly glad to see the lions. Did you know these savanna cats can sleep up to 20 hours in a day? Just look at this poor black bear. He's feeling what we're all feeling. If you can catch them, look for the zoo's jaguar, cougar, and leopard. Their Amur leopard is of particular note, as there are less than 100 living in the wild. This is also the area for the carousel, so the boys and I stopped off for a quick ride.
Now we're on board the carousel. If you purchase the Jurassic Giants ticket, you will get the wristbands, and you also get unlimited carousel rides, which is fun. So we're checking that out now.
We finished up our day at the zoo with the elephants. This herd of Asian elephants is one of the largest in the US, with 13 elephants in residence. Technically, this type of elephant is sub-Saharan, which may explain why they're some of the only large animals willing to brave the Texas heat and Houston humidity. Asian elephants differ from their African counterparts by being smaller and having rounded ears. Males in this population are the only ones with tusks, and not all of them have them. These animals are excellent swimmers, and despite their very large size, are very buoyant in water. In fact, they can use their trunks as snorkels. You'll note the large water feature included in their habitat. Elephants can swim up to 6 hours before needing rest, and have even been recorded traveling as far as 22 miles in water. The Houston Zoo isn't just protecting these animals in the Lone Star State. They actively fund research and conservation in Southeast Asia, in countries such as Malaysia and Borneo. They do this in part through ticket sales. They use GPS tracking systems to monitor herds of wild elephants to engineer better protection and habitat management. There are estimated to be fewer than 50,000 Asian elephants globally. As my kids have pointed out before, I've seen more likes than that on a YouTube video. The Houston Zoo has successfully managed to breed several elephant calves in captivity, both through traditional and non-traditional means. In 2021, Winnie became the first calf born here using artificial insemination. Less than a handful of elephant calves have been successfully conceived and gestated using this method, putting Winnie and the Houston Zoo in a very exclusive club. You can tell by these sweet plaques that here in this zoo, these animals are family.
On our way out, we stopped by the gift shop and picked up a few souvenirs. They have items for every taste and every budget. The Houston Zoo isn't just a place to see animals, it's a place to connect with them, protect them, even be inspired by them. We learned a lot, we saw some amazing animals, and I think we all left with a new appreciation for the work happening behind the scenes. It's a great spot for families, but honestly, anyone who loves wildlife will find something to connect with here.